Hello guys, welcome back to our wonderful series, Flutter Dev series. This is the third video, and in this video we'll be talking about the components within our first Hello World app. Once again, let me give a shout out to the subscribers and the viewers so far. You've been amazing and you're so wonderful. So on to our series. Yeah, the last time out we created a new Hello World app and we ran it in our emulator, our Android virtual device. Today we'll be explaining the components within the emulator. So the first thing I'm going to do is to open the folder where I have kept this project. Yep, so this is the project Hello World. I'm going to open it. Yep, so it is open here, and I would come to my Explorer bar, and under the lib folder there are a couple of folders here that comes by default. Under the lib folder I would see the main.dart. Now before I talk about anything about this project, I recommend installing a couple of extensions. So you come to your extension tab here and install the awesome Flutter snippet. Search for it as awesome Flutter snippets, enable it and install it. So yeah, it's going to be an awesome extension that would help us within this series. Also, I recommend you install the darts and also install the material icon theme. Yep, so take our time to install these wonderful extensions. They're going to help us as we proceed with our tutorial. Okay, so back to our tutorial. I'll come to the lib folder and onto the main.dart. Yeah, I would collapse this Explorer. The first thing I want to do is to run our app. So I'm going to open our terminal and I'll write Flutter run. Alright, why the app is trying to come up within our emulator, I would explain a few things. The first thing you should know about a Flutter project is, first, every file within your Flutter project that you write the code that shows out your mobile app comes with the name and extension .dart. Your naming convention has to be strict and straightforward as small letters and underscore only. Small letters and underscore only. Now the Flutter app itself is an app made up of mainly widgets and arguments. Widgets and arguments. How do you know a widget? A widget is anything that starts with capital letter like this. These are all widgets, and arguments are always small letters. So you can say this is the widget and these are the arguments within the widget. This again is a widget and these are the arguments within these widgets. So we're going to know more about these widgets and arguments. Flutter is made up of widgets upon widgets upon widgets upon widgets. That's how you make a Flutter app. Alright, understanding the Flutter Hello World app. What exactly is in this Hello World app? We have the app bar with a text that says Flutter Demo Home Page. This is the app bar and this is a text within the app bar. Also, we have a body and the body has a text that says you have pushed the button this many times, colon. And also a bigger text that has a counter of 0. And then also after the body we have a button. This is a floating action button. A floating action button. And within the floating action button there is an icon that is plus sign. So I'm going to teach you guys how it works. Now let's start from the app bar itself. Now the Flutter itself must always have an import of material.dart. This is because the Flutter itself is made up of material design. So the Flutter / material.dart has to be imported at all time. And then the main method within the main.dart is used to run our Flutter app. As you can see, the main method has another method in it that says run app. And within the run app, we are calling our actual app that says constant my app. Now this my app is a class of itself, and this is the class defined underneath here, class my app, that extends the stateless widget. All right, so I'm going to just say this very quick. There are two types of widgets, state widgets. There's a stateless widget and there's a stateful widget. What are the stateless widgets? These are widgets that are static. Stateless means static. They never change. Then the stateful widgets, of course, is the contrary to the stateless widget. The contrary means it is always going to change. It's going to be updated per time. Now, for this my app, we are using a stateless widget. And then within the my app, we have a widget that builds a material app. Now, it builds a material app, and within the material app, we are also going to be having a scaffolded widget, stateful widget, a scaffolded stateful widget, and it's going to come within the home. Now, this home is the place where everything is happening. Now, within this home, we are passing in a title that says Flutter Demo Home Page. Now, take note of this. This is an argument that says Flutter Home, is a text argument that says Flutter Demo Home Page. Now, let's see how this argument is being used. Now, when you come into the My Home page, which is right here, right beneath it, it simply passes this My Home page, passes a super key and this title into My Home page state. All right, and then this My Home page state is another class that has a scaffold. It returns a scaffold. Now, scaffold is a widget. Within the scaffold, there is an app bar, and within this app bar, there is a background color that is a theme of and color scheme of inverse primary. Now, this primary, all of this color scheme makes up this entire purple-like background you're seeing here. And then the text itself is being passed from the widget.title. How do we get this widget.title? Look up here again. You'll see that within this home page, there's a title passed on to this My Home page states, and right here it is being used as widget.title, and straight up it comes here. Now, assuming I want to change it, I could come here and simply say home page Flutter app. Now, you can see that there's an underline here that says there's a problem and you can actually fix it. How do you fix it? You come to quick fix, you click on it, and it tells you we need to add a const modifier. So that's the beauty of Flutter. Flutter would always tell you what it is you're doing wrong. If it tells you what you're doing wrong, all you need to do is to pay attention and try to fix it. Now, if I click on add const modifier, instantly the blue underline is gone and we have our app. Now, if I save this and I go back to my terminal and I do a hot reload, to do a hot reload, I would only have to click on my arrow. Yeah, arrow there means hot reload. I just tap on the arrow key on my keypad and you can see right here it has changed to homepage Flutter app. That is what we have here. Exactly. So that is how you work up your Flutter app bar. So there's a short way of getting this done. All of these came with the app, and that's why it is this complicated. Don't worry, next time we're going to be building a fresh page where we'll do our app bar ourselves and everything ourselves. I'm just trying to explain exactly what we have on this page. Okay, the next thing I'm going to deal with is the body of the page where we have all of this text. Coming down here, you see the body. Like I said, there's the app bar, there's the body, and there's the floating icon. Now we've dealt with the app bar. We know how the background color came about. This is the background color, which we can change, by the way. And also we have the background text, the app bar text title, which is here. And then finally, not finally, onwards, let's deal with the body. What is the body? The body has a center widget. A center widget. Now the center widget is a layout widget. It takes a single child and positions it in the middle of the parent. Now this is the entire parent. Now it takes everything and positions it in the middle of the entire parent. That's what the center widget does. All right. Now the center widget takes an argument. Like I said, everything small letter is an argument, and everything capital letter is what? A widget. Now it takes a child argument, which in turn takes a column widget. Yeah, like I said, Flutter mobile design is all about widgets upon widgets, and these widgets will always have arguments within it. So yeah, it takes a child argument, which in turn takes a column widget, and the column widget has a couple of arguments within it. So the arguments we've taken here is main axis align. So we are saying, where do we want to align whatever the content of this child column will be? We said main axis alignment should align it to the center. So we are saying this center widget, please place everything in the center of our screen, which is what this means. All right. Now, and then there's a children, right? The children can have multiple things within it. Now, the column is just one row, vertical row, that can have things stacked on it, on and on and on and on. You can stack things on the column, while the row is an horizontal field or horizontal line where you can put things side by side within it. So now we're dealing with the column. The first thing we're saying, let's have the children. The children should be stacked on it, right? So the first child we're having is a widget, right? That widget should contain a text, right? The text should be, you have pushed this button this many times. And then the next thing is also another text, and that text should be a counter. Now you can see that the counter itself is a variable. Now this variable will be defined somewhere above. As you can see, we are using this variable defined here, right here within the counter. We are saying the text should be a counter variable. Please display this variable, and the style of this variable should be headline medium. That is why this text is smaller and the other text is bigger. So we have changed the size of our variable, our counter variable, to be headline medium. So by the way, you can have other things here if you press Control space. So there is body large, there's body medium, there's body small, there's display large, there's headline large, headline medium, and so on and so forth. For now, let's stick with the headline medium, which is what it was before. Very good. Now, that is that for our body. Now, leaving out this entire column, I said again that we have a floating action button. A floating action button. Floating action button also is another argument that is right below the body. Remember, I said we have the app bar, we have the body, and we have the floating action button. Now, this is an argument that accepts a widget that says floating action button. And this floating action button have a couple of arguments within it, one of which is the unpressed. The next is a tooltip, which isn't so important. I can take it out and everything still works perfectly. But then let's leave it there because it came with the app itself. And then we have the child of this floating action button. What does the child take? It takes an icon. And this icon also takes another parameter within it that is also a class of icons, and we can get as many icons as we want. If we get, I've taken out that add, I'll Control space, and I can see so many icons. So this is the icon here, And you can see here the small little thing that shows us a sample of what the icon looks like. If I keep scrolling down, I'm sure it will keep changing. As you can see, it has changed to something else. And here is an alarm, an access alarm. I'll keep scrolling and you can see a couple of other things that you can change into. So there are a lot of icons that Flutter itself, Flutter Material Design provides you with. For now, let us stick with the add icon, which is what it was before. So this is exactly what our screen is made up of. Now we're saying on pressed. When you've pressed it, what should happen? That is the question we've said. You can see that if I keep hitting this button, it keeps increasing, right? Good. So let's know how the unpressed works. We're saying unpressed, please reference the increment counter. Now, where's the increment counter? If you scroll up here, you should see another function, another method that says increment counter. The increment counter simply assesses our state. Remember I said something about stateful widget and stateless widget. This stateless widget, nothing can happen in it because it cannot be changed. It is a constant widget that stays the way it is. Now, how about the stateful widget? You can have a lot of things changing in it, including another class that has a state. Now, this state itself makes us be able to access the set states inbuilt JavaScript function. Now, the set state, what does it do? We are saying that it should pick this counter variable and increment it by 1. So if you're familiar with programming at first, there's the plus plus, which means increment by 1 basically. Now there's also a minus minus, which means decrement. So for the moment we're saying don't decrement, please increment plus plus. It is 0. If I hit it the first time, it will increment counter by 1, making it 1. I hit it again, increment by 1, making it 2. On and on, it keeps incrementing until we stop hitting the button. So yeah, we are saying call this increment counter function, and that is what exactly the unpressed function does for the floating action button. That is how our Flutter app is designed. And in our next series, we'll delve into further creation and maybe we can explain more about the widgets, about the arguments for each widget, and maybe create a little app that does something different and something cool. Alright, that'll be all for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next series.